Hey. All right. So, are you interested in Whitehead link building? Awesome, because that's what I'm here for. I'm going to show you everything that I know that will fit into this webinar about link building, SEO, and building Whitehead, ultimately building Whitehead links to your website. My name is Artem. I'm the founder of LinksHero, which is the Whitehead link building agency. We're a small agency. I'm a small agency based in Berlin, Germany, and I'm wearing this safety feature because link building can be a fairly dangerous thing. So you're welcome here. I'm going to take it easy. I'm really like I love to make stupid jokes, and if there is something, something awkward or something goes on, like I want to entertain you during this hour or maybe even more, because link building is a daunting process. It takes time, it takes effort, and I don't want this to be boring. Also, if there's any hiccup, something goes wrong, my dog barks here, which is not even my dog. I just borrowed it. So, yeah, excuse me for this. And apart from this, if there is anything I can only touch as much during the webinar. So if you have any questions at all, like just let me know in the future. Just send me a message or anything. All right, so wrap it up. Let's go. I'm gonna start real quick with my story. So basically here I am. My name is Artem. Once again, I'm originally from Russia, but I haven't lived in there for a long, long time. And my online marketing story began in 2012. I was living back in Spain at the time with a massive unemployment, like 50% youth unemployment. It was crazy. So I was like, and I always was a businessy guy. So I have to get into some sort of business. And with my Russian passport, it's really hard to do. So I was like, what's the only place that doesn't discriminate against the passport, like passport wise? It was the internet. So I got into this idea of generating some passive income, making it work. And for some reason, AdSense was the thing that really grabbed me. And I went out there and created this massive blog. It's called stakey.com, still called that way. And then it peaked at 130,000 about unique visitors a month. I actually have a screenshot. So this is my Stakey. It's on the top left, and you can see the number of users here. Like this is from 2 years ago, and I couldn't. It did go up to like 130. So don't take my word for it. So, and I was doing pretty okay. And I just remember the story about how I bought the domain, because this program I got off the internet was like, yeah, you have to do something you're passionate about. I'm like, okay, I'm passionate about cooking steaks. It was the time when I was like really into this. So, and then it said you should find something, you should find the name for the domain, which is both a search engine for the visitors. So I'm like, okay, eatsteak.com. And then the domain was taken. So I'm like, okay, so let's just let's flip them. Yes, so just change the order. So that's how I ended up with stakey.com, which turned out to be an okay name. So the funny thing is I got to all that crazy traffic without any link building. Maybe I built like 2 links, but nothing overly dramatic over the past 6 years. It wasn't like building at scale stuff. In fact, I really hated link building up until like a year ago. And this is where my story goes. So I had this Amazon affiliate site, was making like two plus $1,000 a month passively. So here's also some proofs. These are actually beautiful numbers. It can be a lot better, but still, it was okay. So I was making that money passively, and the site is called myrgonomicchair.com. It's still out there. I regularly cover it in my training videos when I'm playing with some link building, and it's just there for illustration purposes, even though it does make some money now. A year ago, it got smacked by Google. It wasn't too dramatic because the website wasn't really having a crazy amount of traffic, but it still kind of like went down. And I hated link building at the time because I was like, man, this is so time consuming. You have to do so many things. You have to find contact information. You have to write all those people. And I wasn't exactly sure what actually you need to do, how to actually get those links, because the internet is just, there's so many different ways of doing link building. But as I got smarter, I realized that the Pareto principle of the vital few, the 80-20, yeah, it works on the internet as well. So you only need a handful of link building strategies, techniques to actually nail it. Yeah. So usually as we go, this is going forward. Usually when we go with campaigns, we just find something that works and then just scale it. So this is my quick story, and just wanted to illustrate you that link building actually works once you start doing it. Sometimes results are almost immediate, and sometimes they take time. So you need to kind of go and invest into it, and so on, so on and so forth. Um, and what I'm trying to say here is that I'm actually not a better link builder than you. Might not be. In fact, I'm just like you, or maybe even worse, because I'm a little bit disorganized, a little bit, fairly disorganized. And link building, especially when you do it at scale, is it should be all structured. Everything should be organized. So I'm going to show you how I structure things, and I'm going to kind of, if you saw presentations similar like this from like Ryan Stewart from Weber's great presentation, and I think Outreach Mama guys, he also did something like this. This is similar, but I have my own fans, and I just keep watching with me. And on top of this, I'm super available. You can just hit me up with a question or anything, and I'll be there to help you. So this is it. This is my story, and I'm just going to quickly run through this link building thing, just like make sure we are on the same page, and because I'm not exactly sure if you're familiar with it, and there are probably you have some misconceptions about it. So I'm just going to cover it up real quick. So this is the link building 101. Link building, what is it? It's a process of getting other websites linked to yours. Super simple. And Artem made this amazing graphic on Google spreadsheet. So there we go. So in the middle is your target site, which is your site, and basically link building is getting all those other sites linked to you. So, and now I'm going to talk about the different hats of link building. There are three generally accepted, whatever is the term, hats of link building. But before we go into this detail, I'm actually going to show you, this is the exact extract from Google. So if you Google the link schemes, you will find this exact page where I took it from. So Google basically, why we do link building? Yeah, we want to rank better in Google. So and Google is like the government. They set up their rules, and which we have to kind of abide. Yeah. So just like with the government, you can use like some leeway and like just do some shady things and still not get in trouble and get what you want, or you can really get in trouble and just go to the prison. So same thing here with Google. And then they have those link schemes. Yeah, so this is the definition of the link scheme. So, and I just have a couple of points underlined here. So below are the examples of link schemes which can negatively impact the site's ranking in search results. What I really dislike about Google is that they're like, yeah, they can negatively impact. Yeah, so they can, they may, maybe, well, maybe, maybe. So the truth is that this maybe is really a maybe. Sometimes I look at it, I look at some sites that rank like #1. I look at their backlink portfolio. I'm like, are you really kidding me? Seriously, it's a PBN. We'll talk about that later. And or like you can see that they're buying links, or there's a lot of things going on. So the algorithm is not able to cut it all directly. But Google has a manual spam team. Yeah, so people out there, actual real people, and what they do is they just kind of monitor all those niches and like see that there is no site that's breaking the links, the rules too much apparently, because sometimes it's like anyway. So what I want to grab your attention for here is that buying selling links that pass PageRank is a link scheme. So if you go directly to somebody to the website and say, yo, can we buy a link from you? And they're like, yeah, sure, $150. And then you send them via PayPal, you get that then organized. This is technically a link scheme. Yeah. So if Google finds out, you can get in trouble for that. There's a lot of argument about, oh, will they find out? Well, how will they know? Well, there are many factors Google can take into account to find that, So like first one, if they link to everybody, like if they sell links to everybody. Yeah, of course there are some limitations to this statement, but it's kind of like, so their backlink portfolio, if they link out to everybody, like this doesn't make their website too trustworthy in the eyes of Google, you know, because link building, it's like you have this ball, like this bag of authority, and then if you give it out to everybody, you're not gonna have anything else left in your bag, you know. So this is kind of similar the way it works. So if you like link to everybody, how much is the link is actually worth? So using automated programs as well, you use them. Yeah, so, and this is another example here. So advertorials and native advertising where payment is received for articles that include links that pass PageRank, again, buying links, and form comments with optimized comments in the post of signature like this. Yeah, so quite simple. So if you want to pay for your link, you're not going to, this is technically breaking the law, the Google law. And now that we covered these link schemes, we're going to go into actual heads and talk about them in some detail, not too many though. So first one is black hat, and this is like the dark side of search engine optimization. So some people, like mainly Russians for some reason, I don't know why, like seriously guys, don't blame me, you know, I can speak with a Russian accent and get you some links. Never mind. So the truth is that some people go out there and hack other people's sites, and then they actually don't do anything bad to them, they just sneakily inject links in the content, so you don't even know about that happening. So this happens. Then there's this big apparently Russian network called SAPE, and you can go out there and check them out. It's super shady. Don't use them. PBNs, they stand for private blog networks. And just for those unaware, basically a blogger would go out there and buy many expired domains. So say I had stakey.com and then I didn't renew my domain subscription, and it expired. So somebody can go out there, buy stakey.com, and make, with all its authority that accumulated over the years, yeah, they can get this website and then just have some weird like they can have completely different content out there and link back to something, I don't know, like Viagra pills or something, or day loans or something shady like this. So, and they have loads of those websites, and again, you have to be super smart. In my opinion, you have to be a lot smarter for doing PBN than actually doing white hat link building, at least from my perspective. Maybe I'm not aware of something, because it's super time consuming, it's worrisome, because PBNs, Google has done tons of crackdowns on PBNs. So if you have that network of those expired domains, and you have those websites which you maintain yourself, and then you use them to link to your pages, Google is going to find you one way, like sooner or later. Yeah, it is getting smarter, not as quickly as some people want, but it's that's what's happening. And also buying links, we just saw that it's part of the link scheme. So buying links is really a no-no, but there is a lot of link buying and selling going. So when I run campaigns, when I do blogger outreach, reach out to webmasters asking them for a link, there's a lot of us, oh, this is 100, this is 150, this is, so people are like this, which is, you know, part of our human nature. Next comes great head. So this is more of like so if the first one is a felony, the second one is like you cross the you go on there, you cross the road on red traffic light. Yeah, so if there is a proactive policeman beside you, and it's forbidden to do in your country, so you are likely to get in trouble. So, and the thing with this gray and black hat, this is very arbitrary. Yeah, so you can say if you do a lot of tiered link building, so this is like creating different layers of websites. So you would have, I don't know, like Web 2.0 websites, for example, like Blogger or Blogspot or WordPress, anything of those, and then you would use those to filter any negative like links that point. It's basically like a sieve. You can just Google it. Sorry, I'm really bad at this. I really have poor explanatory capacity when it comes to tiered link building. Anyway, so then form submissions, we saw that already in the link scheme. So, and excessive commenting, anything really like this too can be gray hat, can be black hat can be gray hat. This is like somebody says this, somebody says that. there's basically, okay, you can do some things and you can do some things. And then comes the white hat, and which is based entirely on blogger outreach and content marketing. So this is the personally, I think this is what really Google wants you to do. It's like, all right, you create something awesome, and then you go out there and just ask people to check it out. You know, it's like in real life. You have something cool. If you have a startup, you have, I don't know, if you have some project, you go out there and ask people for some opinions, and then they can contribute. So, and in my opinion, again, white hat link building is the only sustainable, truly long-term strategy, because you can be successful with black hat and gray hat stuff in the short run. This is like churn and burn websites. People create those and then they're like da 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 da, make a lot of money, but then the website is down. So if you're that kind of person, white hat is probably not for you. Even though some black hats apparently start using a lot more white hat link building techniques because time's changing. And let's look at some examples. Okay, so here we are, and this is a website called funpod.ca. So the story about this website is simple. Our client, we are doing a guest posting campaign for them, and then we pitched our guest post to this website. It looked totally legit. I looked at it. I was like, okay, it looks it looks quality-wise. I checked its social profiles, looked okay. Well, everything like domain authority, domain rating, everything was looking all right. Like I would personally go for this website. And then when I looked closer, I realized I looked at their backlink portfolio. All right, so this is Ahrefs for those of you not familiar. So Ahrefs is a great tool, shows all the backlinks that reference the domain, refer to the domain. So, and I kind of picked, so one other thing was like the absence of traffic. I was like, well, maybe the website is new, and Ahrefs tends to lower the actual amount of traffic on the website. So I was like, maybe that's a thing. So, but then I looked close at the backlink portfolio, and I got a few windows open up here. So these are actually websites. These 5, they're just example websites that link back to this FunPod website. And I'm just going to show you what is this thing. So. So if you look at the website, you're like, okay, well, okay, looks okay. But then if you start reading it, it's like, it is crucial to keep in mind that the notion that charisma is inborn is not right. This trait is also a learned one. Usually charismatic politicians who run for office are those that are surely going to win the elections. So if you look into this in more detail, you will understand that this is some kind of a PBN, and maybe this is some kind of a spawn content, really really good quality spawn content, but like, with injections, link injections like this, you're like, yeah, 3 tips, stuff like this. So this is a website which is probably a part of the PBN. Yeah, so it's kind of fake website. It's out there with some fake content, like just because it have to have some content, and people don't spend too much time on actually making it all work. So this was one example. Another one here. So getting down to basics with professionals. If you look at politicians, you will see that most of them are always dealing with debates, a lot of heated discussions, and even a lot of choices, both good and bad. Yeah, so again, I'm not super sure about this because again, realisticloans.com, payday loans, flexible. See this kind of stuff? Again, same story, probably a PBN. Oh, this one is a funny one because it comes from a very legit, say, website. Yeah, it looks very top quality, but when you look into this, don't worry, I don't have weed here, just I use it for illustration purposes because the anchor text they used is weed. So, and you can see that there's a ton of different comments. Oops, not clicking that one. So there's a ton of different comments with different hyperlinks. Yeah, so they all point into something. So this is really shady way of building links. So because it's just a tool that allows to post comments. If we scroll all the way down, we probably can. Yeah, there we go. So if you post a comment here, insert your. Oh, maybe it's been cracked as well. It shouldn't be happening. So if you do all this, then you get a link back. The problem is that, is it a really good backlink? Because if it's easily attainable, the value from it is Nothing. So the other two examples are kind of the same. You see all this gibberish stuff, so like some signs and everything. So it's really easy to tell if a website gets a link from somebody really shady. And same story here, yeah. And I didn't cherry pick those. I took the top five, and one wasn't loaded. And I think I took the one below it. So I took like whatever, two top six, you know. So this is the example of poor link building, in my opinion. Yeah, I may be completely wrong, but from what I see, the organic traffic is super low. So, you know, this is not going to get you far. So let's go back to the presentation. And now that we've looked at those examples, it's time to move on and check out this five problems, right? So these are the five problems with traditional link building techniques. So this would involve this. They may be like white hat, but they're still like just stay here, okay? So the problem with this whole thing, yeah, with white hat link building as such, it's very resourceful, tedious, and time consuming. This actually applies to all link building techniques. It's just white hat tends to take a lot of time, because imagine this: you have to really find loads of people, send loads of emails, and you have to stay sane at the same time. So this is it. And link buying is also very expensive. So if you actually go and try to buy links, yeah, like it works. Yeah, it can work in the short run. It can work, and it can work in the medium and long run as well. But it's very expensive. So one link, according to Ahrefs study from 2018, really fresh information, it's $361.44. So another thing is that it's finite and non-scalable. Yeah, so you can, like, say you've got local directories that you can submit. Again, you don't want them to be spammy, and this is kind of hard these days. So like directories have been kind of spammed. So if you have a local directory, like something small, again, you don't have a lot of those, right? So you can submit once, submit to another one, and then that's it. You kind of run out of those. And it's also a pretty complex process because there's different kind of steps involved, and it's really impossible to outsource them for cheap. So you need to hire a professional who knows. They look at the directory, they can quickly analyze it, they can look at the metrics, they know where to look, and this stuff is really not that cheap. So hiring a proper SEO consultant, a link builder from like basically Western world is not cheap at all. And if something is not right, if something is wrong, this might get you in trouble in future. So really watch out for this. Now this is where we are kind of start diving into this link building scenario, this how to build white hat links to your website paradigm. Yeah, so there are two kind of paths to involve. All right, so and first one is one for many, and second one is one for one. So, and I'm going to explain now what those mean, but for the sake of this tutorial, of this webinar, I'm going to focus more on the one for one link builder, right? So what is it? So one for one is the path based on reciprocity principle. So, and yeah, so this is the price which I achieved some links for myself back in the when I was doing some campaigns for myself, and this can easily be your average cost. So for this exact link building path, so they're very easy to scale, and they can easily be the core of your link building campaign, and they can be so like continuously, because you will pretty much never run out of the opportunities for these, you know. So, and it works. That's a good thing. It actually works if you don't have any linkable assets, and I'm going to talk about what linkable assets are in the next slide here. So that should be cool, and this is just guest posts. Guest posts have received some bad rap over previous years. They've been smacked by Google's Matt Cott, the former head of web spam team. And the idea is that if you try to, this is not just guest posts. So if you actually try and The idea with link building is funny. So if you go out there and your ultimate goal is to get a link, this is kind of the wrong thinking. So instead, you should be going out there and building a relationship with people. So, and this is actually really cool. You know, I was just doing some relationship building yesterday, and it's a really nice way to connect with a person. um, it's not the quantity game here at all. Like if you go out there and have five people who are ready to take your stuff, like a guest post, you know, and they don't give it to somebody else, so they don't actually accept guest posts, but because you've made friends, like because you're friends with them now, they're like, yo, I really want to see your stuff. Like, please submit it. Five links like this a month is maybe a lot better than like 25 links, you know. So, and on top of this, it's a different level of meaningfulness, you know. So if you're building a business, if you're looking long term, really just make friends, seriously. And one for many. So with writing great and even amazing content is not enough. So I kind of mentioned that before. So if you have a cool article about, like, I don't know, like one of my case studies was travel guide, Iran travel guide. This was for one of our former clients in the travel niche. So they're like Airbnb website, only focused on Iran. So this was our linkable asset. It was like 6,000 of words. The problem is that it's not enough. Yeah. So we published it and then like, okay, awesome. So now what? Yeah. So this is the first step. You create the outstanding content, a linkable asset. So in our case, it was Iran travel guide. Step two, and then you tell everybody around about it. So this is called content marketing, and then get your links. So with our Iran guide, I reached out to some of the people that link to our competitors, so like the likes of Lonely Planet, for example. And I said that, the Lonely Planet people haven't updated their article for quite a while. Ours is fresh and new, and all the updated visa information, everything is very fluid, everything has changed. And so we got some valuable links. We didn't get a lot, but those links were enough to get the article on the first page. I have a case study about this. You can browse the channel to find it in my videos. So every time I publish a linkable asset, I have an exact process of how I promote it. Yeah. So, and this involves this competitor links, just mentioned this, link roundups, resource pages. So these are like the top three. So with resource pages, for example, with my Iran travel guide, I would reach out to people or to blogs that have something to do with traveling to Iran, and they have a resource page listed. With link roundups, also, if somebody was collecting around cool articles, like cool articles of the week or cool articles of the month, I would also find those people, which is fairly straightforward, and pitch them my article. Yeah. So this is kind of it. The super simple, like really, it's really, so instead of looking at all those like 145 link building tactics or strategies, these are the top three, and then they work every single time. You just have to create something amazing. That's it. So this was kind of it with two paths. So I hope we're clear right now. Yeah, so link building is tedious and time consuming, and then there are two paths you can take. You can promote yourself via guest post, yeah, make friends and contribute to other people's blogs, and um, and really shine at this. Yeah, so you can make your name. You can even get a job with this stuff. You can get invited to seminars. Um, and same thing actually with, if you go for the second path, so one for many. If you create awesome linkable asset, I created one linkable asset for my ergonomic chair. I'm not going to tell you which one now. And I started being asked if I want to go to a conference related to the subject. So it actually went viral, which was great, kind of crazy, but it was my first one. So I was like, oh man, that's great. It was exactly a year ago. So yeah. Creating valuable content, you put some effort in it, but then it works. Then comes the secret. Yeah, so how to actually make it all work. And the secret is that if you really want to have those really low priced quality links at scale, so you must have a process. So this is the secret. We were I hear quite often in Berlin, like weekly, I meet with a friend of mine, so we always talk business. I always ask him about German laws, and we were talking about these processes, and we had kind of, both of us had the epiphany at the same time, like the human cannot really be efficient or inefficient. They can have inefficient process. Yeah. So if you have an efficient process, you are going to suck at it. Yeah. So you have to really establish the right process, and I'm here to help you. So you're in the right place. So, and it's a campaign-driven process. And what I mean by that is that you have a campaign. So, for example, if you have a linkable asset created, you say, okay, so now we're going to build, we're going to reach out this amount of people, like 400 people, or we are going to get like at least 10 links to it. So this is a campaign-driven process. So, and this whole thing consists of four basically stages. So first you have the strategy. Once you have the strategy, okay, all right, you know what I'm doing. I go to prospecting, so finding all the relevant leads, and then comes the outreach, basically sending emails, and then content. If necessary, you write guest posts. So let's just kind of look more details. So strategy. You have your website. Yeah, so for example, let's imagine you sell protein. You have e-commerce site about protein. So subject is protein, workout, gym, everything that has to do with those things. So then you target the right keywords. So what's that you want to target about the gym? Yeah, so maybe you can even target keywords like how to open the gym. So you can, if you're a supplement store, you can totally talk about the subject, how to, you can contribute to different websites that are, I don't know, like some fitness nerds or some fitness nerd. I don't know actually if they use this term, but or like fitness bros. Yeah, that's probably better. So, and you will need to also target right keywords and assessing link quality. So just like I gave you now the example with this fanpod.ca, like if you look at the website, you look at the metrics, you're like, okay, that looks good, and then it's actually plagued by PBN. So maybe PBN, not sure. So then comes the prospecting. So once you're clear what to look for, the next stage is actually finding and qualifying those leads and filling up the spreadsheet. So it's a lot of data mining, and this is really numbers game. So there are conversion rates. So for anything to do with the linkable asset, usually the conversion rates are like 5 to 10%. Yeah, so if you want 5 backlinks, you need to find 100 leads. Yeah, and just send them emails. So a lot of prospecting. Outreach is the next stage. So you have your email templates. They are personalized. So you don't like spam people. You actually write a personalized email template. And then there are tons on the internet. So you can look at them. The problem is that they are heavily abused. So you really want to come up with something yourself. So email scheduling, following up, and doing the outreach is also following up and managing replies is part of the outreach as well. Most of the links come from follow-ups. This is important. So nobody's going to post a link right away. I'll say, oh my God, this is an awesome article. I'm going to link to it right away. No, it doesn't happen. Sometimes links. We just got a link yesterday. It took us like a month and a half of negotiation. Yeah, like really emails, follow-ups, and then we gave up. And then she wrote back to us like 3 days ago, saying, "Yeah, I put your link." Okay, thank you, sunshine. So the fourth one is the content. So just creating content when you need it. So this is guest post, and sometimes in linkable assets don't work. So if it doesn't work, you send out like 500 emails, you have 0 links. Maybe tough luck. Maybe you're not looking in the right place. But so this is the secret, right? The process is the secret. So if you have the process set up, you can scale up, you can do whatever you want, and you don't really have to think about it. You just feed it to your people. And this is when the team comes in play. Let's look into it. So every person in your team has one single task and one single task only. This is really important. So I regularly look for link builders, hire link builders, and I see that they are, if it's a freelance link builder, they often just do 2 things. They find prospects, then they send emails, and this is really time consuming and it's really hard. So if you're looking for one specific thing, like if you're doing one specific thing, it's a lot easier because you're like, okay, I'm just looking for leads, and then you also have to send emails. So it's also very, very time consuming. But if you have every person in your team doing one single task and one single task only, it really speeds up the process, makes it a lot easier. And here's what it looks like. So you probably saw it somewhere. It's got 4 people in the team, and this is the boss. This is our link prospector. This is our outreach master, and this is our content writer. So let's look at the roles. So the boss does the campaign. This is, by the way, a more of a classical approach. I will talk about this new hybrid thing that I was trying, and so I'm going to give it away to you and explain you why I don't like this classic approach this much. So the boss is the or team lead, right? So they're usually doing this campaign design. They keep in link prospector and the outreach master busy. So they also create email sequences and manage the entire flow. So this is for the boss. By the way, the created email sequences can go to your outreach master as well. It's just when I was writing, I was super micromanaging. So, but now those days are over. Next is the link perspective. So this is the person who actually finds leads, right? So they have find leads. They do data mining. They find contact details. They fill up the spreadsheet with other information and so on and so forth. So this is the only job they do. Next comes the outreach master. So send emails, manage follow-ups, manage replies, update the spreadsheet. So basically these are all, they're like falling on top of the process we just broke down, right? So we have different stages in the process and we have different people responsible for those. And next comes the content writer. So when necessary, they create content. This is all straightforward. So now we've covered the team, we've covered the process, we've covered different the 2 paths of link building, whitehead link building, and next is the actual central control. So remember I mentioned about that it's super important to stay organized. So this is the thing that helps me to stay organized. And central control unit, you want to call it that way, actually is what making the system work, makes the whole thing work. So somebody famous said that the simplicity is the ultimate sophistication, and to arrive to simplicity we need to be very organized, but it's very simple. So proper organization and system is why I sort of love link building now, sort of, because I still not really into this, but I started liking it a lot more because of the system. Let's say it this way, probably that's German in me now, because I live here in Berlin. You get affected by all those Germans. So if you have it's like a well-oiled machine, you know, everything works and runs smoothly. And I'm talking about Google spreadsheets, right? So everything's set up and organized there, and you will see, I will show you how it all works at the very end of this presentation, and I hope it will wow you. So I just wanted to cover briefly what's in the actual sheet. So there are a couple of tabs there, and depending on the part of the project, so depending on who is working on it, they are applicable to different people. So the first one is Prospecting 1 tab. You can call it, by the way, anything. So you can call it Link Prospector tab, because most of the time this is where link prospectors get their task, organize their task, and this is where basically the team lead or the boss, me or you, assigns the task to a link prospector. And I keep things organized. So there's month, there's due date, status, task, and more. So you will see how it all works. Prospecting 2 tab. So this is where link prospectors record all the information, and this is also the file that's used by outreach masters, the people that send emails, and then they manage those replies. So again, everything is very organized here. Date found, date outreach, status, do I need to follow up? So you can see here, there's this thing that lights up. Actually, it's pretty cool because I programmed this thing to light up if there were days between. So say we get a reply from them that they're interested, we send them an email, and then they don't reply, like they forget to reply, but then our system lights up and says that we need to remind them about the pending email, so we don't lose any of those outstanding opportunities. Because if somebody replies and they're interested, chances are you will get the link placed. So we need to really push that and kind of remind people in a nice but in a nice but I want to say perseverance way, but you get what I'm talking about. And also includes other tabs. It's actually the old one that I was using. You will see now it's a lot simpler when I'll show it to you. So this is our central control. unit. By the way, I really want to take a step back now and talk about the team a bit more. So if you allow me this. All right, so here's our link building team, and there are like 4 people here, right? So already mentioned this. And if you saw any of like Ryan Stewart videos, these are exactly the same people. So there's this team lead guy, the link prospector, the outreach master, the content writer. So the boss, the team lead, usually when you begin, it's you, right? Afterwards, you can hire somebody to do this work for you, but at the beginning, this is what you do. Then you get the link prospector. So this is the person doing the data mining, and you can hire them on like a freelancer website for like $3 an hour. And the outreach master would get more, maybe like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, $10 an hour, depending on where they're from, how good they are, how experienced they are. And the content writer, again, they can charge you per hour or per word quantity. Yeah. So the problem with this is that I started doing it myself, and then I quickly realized that I'm micromanaging things. Yeah. So I was like giving the task to link prospect, and then doing this whole outreach thing, like trying to like show the mistakes to my outreach people. And then I was like, man, I'm doing all wrong, because I really want these people, because link building is like selling, right? So there should be some very variable component to it in terms of like salary. Like there should be some performance based mark. So now what I'm doing is that I have a really I have a fixed rate. Like I give people this, so I hire them. I'm like, okay, this is what you get. Yeah. And then if we get a certain target, which is like 20 or 40 links, um, per team, they would get a bonus on top of this. So that way they're actually motivated to go and work instead of just sitting there. Because I don't know, I don't care how much time they need to reply to those emails. You know, I really don't care how much time they need to find the leads. I only care about the result. So if they can do it in less time, good for them. I only care about the result, and that's the honest truth about it. So covered the link building team again, and gonna scroll fast forward. Okay, so now that we've cleared up this issue with the team and the payment structure a little bit, I know maybe a bit confusing, but still, you can ask me questions later. Let's do it. So finally, so are you ready to do it? And I'm bragging about my 375 per link achievement. So let's do it. Before we do it, actually, let's look at some theory again. So we start with target page assessment. So these are the questions that the link prospector or team lead should be asking yourself, right? So what is the page about, and what are the keywords you are targeting? And maybe in the grand scheme of things is who might be interested in what you have to offer? Who is this target audience? And sometimes target audience can be like completely in the opposite direction. But that's what it is. Next part is what I'm not doing anymore, because I have this team that is motivated differently. So not just time based, but they're actually doing some work themselves. So they're on the front line. So adding the keywords into the project. So fill as many keywords into your project as you like, and don't go into specific long tail keywords, and use semantically related keywords. So this will help you to find those opportunities. Oh, by the way, I'm talking here about both. You can use this for both, like guest posts, and you can use it for resource pages, for um, other types of one for many link building techniques. So next is step 3, and this is your link prospector basically doing the job. They go out there and search for leads. And once you are done with that, you go and you download the leads from the Google spreadsheets and upload them to Mailshake. Mailshake is a mail merge software. So we do send, I like calling them semi-personalized emails. So we do have some points which you kind of inject into the form. Yeah, so the software does this for you. So if you have a name in some column, so it will include the name in that email. If you don't have a name, it will include an alternative text. So it's a pretty cool outreach kind of tool that we use right now. So and then you would prepare email template. So this is initial outreach. So this is the first email, and then the follow-up. Check and schedule the reply to emails, and create content when necessary. and let's see all of it in action.